YouTube, what's going on? My name is Kevin the Tech Ninja, and this is a video that was requested by one of our fans on Twitter, so thank you so much for your video request. But they want to know if the Nexus 5 is still worth it. They're thinking about getting a new phone, but they see the Nexus 6 coming out, and also they had their eye on the S5 and also the M8. Well, we're going to break down all the phones, and we're going to find out if the Nexus 5 is still worth it. Well, the Nexus 5 was released around this time last year. It didn't change the way we use our phones. But what it did provide was one of the best phones of 2013 at half the price of the competition. The design of the phone was a mixed bag due to two different design materials. The white Nexus 5 is a slick, hard shell plastic, and the black Nexus 5 is using that fan favorite soft touch plastic. The screen is 5 inches at Full HD, 1080p resolution at 445 ppi. It's a one-handed phone that fits comfortably in the palm of my hand. Inside the phone we have the Snapdragon 800, the Adreno 330 GPU, 2 GB of RAM, wireless charging, and NFC. At the time of the release, this was considered flagship specs. One thing that stuck out to a lot of Android users was the smaller battery this phone used. Although the Snapdragon 800 processor is known for its battery-saving properties, it still suffered from a lackluster battery performance. Out of the box with moderate use, you'll get around 9 hours of battery life. And for some people, that wasn't enough. Some people will also say the 8 megapixel camera took a backseat as well. The images that came from the device left a lot to be desired. Images were washed out, and in low light they were very grainy. The 1.3 megapixels on the front camera had the same issues, just at a lower resolution. Almost a year later after this phone's being released, it's still used by a lot of people. And a lot of tech sites and reviewers still find the Nexus 5 as one of the better phones. And I can see why. It's light, it's fast, it's easy to hold, and it's just an overall good experience on a phone. A few months after the Nexus 5 came out, the TouchWiz-enabled Galaxy S5 was announced. The S5 was relatively the same size, but it also had dust and water resistance at an IP67 certification. The camera was double the megapixels, and overall the camera experience ran circles around the Nexus 5. It had the newer Snapdragon 801 Intel, the same 2 GB of RAM and GPU. But it also had a bigger battery, and combine that with the 801 processor, your battery life experience was great. You could easily go 12 hours with moderate use. 5 months after the Nexus 5, the HTC One M8 was released. And that too was a 5-inch phone. It's made out of aluminum and has the front-facing boom sound speakers. It ran HTC Sense software, the Snapdragon 801, and same GPU. The camera took a lot of flack for its ultra-pixel camera. It produced poor images, and it made the Nexus 5 camera look pretty good. Still, performance was excellent and still seen as a top Android phone. A lot of people stuck with the Nexus 5 for its stock Android experience, and also Google's track record is that the Nexus phones maintain updates for at least 2 years afterwards. And obviously, we have the Nexus 6, which is going to be a beast of a phone. As of this video, it's not released yet, but looking at the specs, we can assume a lot of things about it, especially the camera. It's a 13 megapixel with image stabilization, which is a big plus considering the Nexus 5 only had the 8 without the image stabilization. Of course, it has the 3 GB of RAM on board, and also has the newer Adreno GPU, which should increase some of the gaming experience. But the price tag is double the price of the Nexus 5, so you have to consider that as well. Now, I did mention specs throughout this video, but I really want to talk about the experience on the device. You know, it just feels like when you're using a Nexus phone that it runs like no other phone. It just really has that smooth experience. There's no input delay, and it's honestly just the best experience on any type of mobile device that I've used, period. And also, getting updates is really a big deal because around this time every single year, a newer version of Android comes out, and knowing that you're gonna receive it around the first couple days of it coming out is a really good feeling. And especially Android, because every single update, a lot of enhancements come out, not just refresh and refinements on older enhancements. This is brand new stuff, and it actually feels like you get a new phone every time a major version of Android comes out. To sum things up, no matter which device you're looking at in its price range, and we can even include a few more like the MX3, the MX4, and also the OnePlus One, you really won't experience much difference. I mean, a couple of things here and there may be faster, or when it comes to gaming, you may have more frames per second. But in this price range, all the phones are phenomenal. So you don't have to run out and grab the latest $700 phone, but you can actually scale it back a little bit and get a phone that may have came out last year or anything like that. As always, guys, my name is Kevin the Tech Ninja. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to Android Authority for more great videos and giveaways. This is Android Authority, your source for all things Android. Take care, guys.